Hello, hello. So, I have a little bit of a cold. I wasn't planning on recording, but I was sitting out there and I got nudged to come in here and record to see if there's any messages that wants to be shared from Jeshua or the Ascended Masters in that realm. So, one thing that we're feeling drawn to is to talk about this. I'm hearing you're on the precipice. You're on the precipice to this glorious life, and sort of what wants to be shared. And it's just so much encouragement from that side to keep going on this path, this sacred path that we feel that there is a sacred path that you've been walking on. And this sacred path is something that it takes you. When you first have found the right, locked into that energy, it takes you. It's like a conveyor belt, sort of. That's what you have been working so hard to actually get to this place where you can actually just step on the conveyor belt and just be taken by Gaia and the higher teams to your greatest timeline. You've done the work. So now it's more about just letting the conveyor belt of joy take you. That's sort of what it is. When you align to the correct, the right frequency, where you want to go, and we hear that you have. Now it's just the fine-tunement, the adjustments, you're almost there. But what's there? What is there? Let's go there. That's fun. Because you've been on this journey for a while. And it's always been that journey. Yes, maybe you tripped up a little bit here and you tripped up a little bit over there. But that is only to clarify the system so that you know how to look after your system. And you know that now. And so now all you have to do is just put it to practice. So you know you have started taking steps, but now it's more about continuing, maintaining it. It is a little bit of vigilance. It needs to be that. Not because you're in survival. It's not a survival thing. It's more an alertness. That's your spirit. That's present. That's your light. Here, caring about this journey. the light in each person, the light in you is very unique. And it needs to be shared. That uniqueness, that inner spark that only you have. Only you have your spark. Other beings can be sort of like a spark plug for you. That's absolutely possible. But once that spark is lit and you learn how to maintain that litness, is that even a word? Then there is a momentum that catches on, and that's what this conveyor belt is. It is taking you now. You have enough momentum. You don't want to cruise just yet. You know, there's still some stuff that needs to happen, but it's stuff that's fun, stuff that's exciting, stuff that is putting into you. That's the journey that we are all on, this journey. But once you get into that groove, and I know you've been practicing getting into that groove so that you are on that conveyor belt, because sometimes you can get deviated in thoughts or emotions or what happens, or this person said this, or whatever the blah 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 of the world is. But that's what it should be categorized in your system. We highly encourage that. That you get that, okay, that is that's the mirror that we have created. Okay, let's see how malleable this mirror is. You know, you can try out new things and see if you can actually start to work with the mirror. There is a finesse that you can get into. But the most important thing is that you maintain this inner balance, and so that you work with the external internally, so that internal dialogue is in alignment with truth. If you even have projected your shadows, you will still be in the dualistic perspective, perhaps thinking that you're on this path, but you might be off because of the imbalance. So it's, once you get that balance, that's what we talked about earlier, like once you get that balance where basically you know how to look after your body. It's this, I wouldn't say year, or like centuries old thing of the masculine feminine. Most beings don't even know what the heck that is, because it's been there's so many thoughts and angles that people just think that it's just, or everything is just an opinion. It's not. Everything is not just an opinion. There is one particular way, a particular thought system, a particular way to look at this world, where your entire system starts to increase in voltage. But that does mean that you have to maintain this internal balance really, really well. And you are still working on that. You're getting there, and then you're drifting out a little bit, and then you're getting back into it again. And that's great. That's what you want. And there are more things that you can do to maintain that internally, to keep that alignment. And we're seeing you moving. And there's so much momentum waiting for you. You have no idea. There's so much that is just waiting to be sort of it's not really like a, it's more like it works sort of from the inside out. So when you get into yourself, you start to operate from the inside out and caring more about this internal energy system and make that the priority. Then everything just magically rearranges itself. The outside rearranges itself when you stop thinking that the outside is anything else than a mirror. And when you actually act like that, you know? You have a lot to look forward to. There are so many blessings that are in line for you to discover. Align your mind. That's going to help you. Align your mind. We love you so much. Thank you, and we'll talk to you again in the next one. Thank you. That was today's channeling. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.